Girl, I didn't even see nothing. All I heard was the gunshot.
I'm really surprised that they even called for, I guess, medical staff soon enough to where he didn't die.
I'm surprised they just didn't finish the job. They shot him 7 times. Some of they put him on administrative leave. Nigga, we know what that means. You gave him pay.
Welcome to Talk with the Boss Chicks. I'm your host, Crystal, and today we are going to be talking about the shooting of Jacob Blake. It's a pretty hot topic, has a lot of people hot, a lot of people bothered, and really just the whole country in racial unrest. So today we're going to be talking about this with our guest, Marcia Jennings. Welcome, Marcia. Thank you for being with us today. This is kind of like one of these things that just keeps happening over and over again. And just when you think that maybe we've progressed, maybe this may not happen again, it happens again. Where do we go from here?
Listen, I think this has been a long time in the making. We've tried to put it off as long as we can, but I think we are about to move into a serious physical struggle, because I don't want to call it a war, but it's about to be a full physical struggle on American soil. And I understand that there's so much that's already going on. Coronavirus itself it just takes so much energy to even live during these times. It seems like everything that could go wrong is going wrong this year. I mean, we're used to hurricanes, but they decided to double it up. You know what I'm saying? Just everything just
Yeah.
Right.
Everything said, hold on, let me get my homegirl Laura up in here, because I don't think I can handle this all on my own. Like 2020.
Right.
It's just not it's not enough for it just to be one of us. Like I'm gonna have to bring my partner along with me.
Right. Like I think 2020 decided to show out, and I'm gonna take it as a year of cleansing. And I think everyone should take it that way, and we should take it as a year of getting things right. So I think where this is leading us to is finally an opportunity to set things right. Let's be real that our American Constitution it's a joke. We've been trying to stand up on that. Those 2 little bitty legs, that's under it for years. But those legs are weak. They were weak when they first came. They're going to fall, okay? It is falling down. No braces can save those weak little legs on our Constitution. Let it go. 2020 is a perfect year to let it go. 2020 vision. We've seen it all. We saw the mess of our past.
Let it go. Like what exactly does that mean when you say that?
Scrap the Constitution. The Constitution is talking about America that was never intent on providing equality for everyone. It was talking about white men. Like, I don't know how else to put it. And even the white women that want to, support it, sis, they won't talk about you either. Okay? Those rights were for white men. And that was it. And it is time to let it go. We are finally moving forward. And yes, of course, we still have those good old racists, even the ones that like to pretend like they're not racist and like, no, because I have, friends who are people of color. We all know those people. Y'all racist too.
Hold on. So let's talk about that. Let's actually address that, because that's something that I've been actually fighting with people on Facebook and social media about, which is this, I'm not racist, but your whole thought and belief pattern is racist. So how do we get people who are racist to just acknowledge the truth of the matter? You are race or I don't know how I should put it. You want to say it's your bias, prejudice. I don't know what you want to call it, but you literally think that one race is this way or should be treated this way and another race should not. Like, how do you get racists to just be honest with themselves? Because I feel like what you said, they want to kind of juck and jive it, especially using some little fake excuse like, oh, I got a black friend. But how well do you know this friend? Like, do y'all actually break bread together at the table? Like, what is y'all real interaction? Because I feel people think, oh, I have a Facebook friend that's black, or, you know, I got somebody at work that, you know, is really just a casual associate that I say hi and bye to. And they be like, oh no, I got black friends. It's fake. Like, stop.
Listen, I think, you know what? I think we should stop trying to force them to use the term. We should ask them, you know, just ask them questions that equal the definition of a racist, but don't even put the term on it. You know, like all of the questions that you ask. So how often do you use like whoever that black friend they claim to have, insert their name? How often do you like go over to their house? Like, why don't you like when they do that? Oh, do you believe this stereotype about them? Oh, you do? You hold that to be true? Oh, okay. And then just walk away with that, because they don't like the word. I don't care what you call it. You don't want to be called a racist? All right. You a bluist, you a orangist, whatever. Call it whatever. At the end of the day, you don't believe that someone else of color has the same value as you have.
For me, being a teacher, like, and I'm seeing all this stuff happening, all roads lead back to education and the lack thereof in most cases, because we don't teach people what racism really is. We don't teach people that, yeah, actually racism still exists in this country. We don't teach people that actually, yeah, some people get treated differently based on what they look like even today. Because I feel like a lot of part of that problem is because where you go to school, where you know, spend most of your time is around people that look like you, sound like you, and you don't have the cultural experiences with people outside of your own, you know, culture that you identify with. And that is where racism is truly bred and facilitated. If you don't have, like I said, you don't break bread with these people, you don't, you know, go over their house, hang out with them, talk to they family members and stuff like that, then honestly, you don't have a black friend. You have a black associate or acquaintance more so than anything else. And just call it what it is. And if you're really trying to act like you're not racist, go ahead and engage in experiences with people who are different from you. There's so many opportunities to travel. Well, I mean, now it's kind of not as much because of COVID, but there's opportunities still to, you know, get to know other people's culture. Like there's, you know, things online that you can learn about other people's culture. And so it's really no excuse for you to literally sit up and spend all your time with people that have the same beliefs as you, look like you, act like you, and probably have the same prejudices as you. Like some of the things that, even prejudice that maybe I used to have, being around people who were, you know, Hispanic and people who were white and people who were Asian, like all of that stuff kind of helped dispel a lot of things that I didn't even know I had as prejudices or biases. And so when you learn it, oh, actually, not all white people are like this, or not all Asian people like that, not all black people are like this, then it really kind of opens you up to whether you really are racist or not. You can just be real with yourself. And I just need people to just be real. So, I mean, people just gotta stop. Just be for real. Just call yourself a racist. Just call yourself that.
I think part of the problem also with them, with anyone accepting that term, is who they're being told that they are that from. So if you're being told by a black person, and you know you don't like black people, or that could be, you know, Asians, anybody, any person of color, of course you're not going to hear from the people you don't like anyway. You don't know what you're talking about. Right, you're right, because you think I'm super ignorant. So I get it. So that goes like you were talking about, isn't that we were not taught. We were not taught about this stuff when we were coming up. So that's why we start holding these kind of ideas about certain ethnicities. Um, so who the message comes from is important, and they'll be able to better receive it if it comes from somebody that looks like them and is within their community, because then that person will be able to like identify things going on in their community. Like, okay, so when we went to the soccer field and then this happened, because they were in that lived experience with them. So they can like, and that's the part that's not okay. So it's not coming from the people who are actually the victims. It's coming from, hey, that's my friend's dad. He had to explain that to me. But also, I think it's very crazy that we expect these kind of Americans to fully change when America hasn't even fully issued an apology for all of the atrocities that have gone down in history. And I know a lot of people like, that wasn't me, that was my ancestors, but you're still benefiting from their actions from the past. So, and even government officials, you may not have been there whenever the little policy was enacted, but you now represent that office, or you represent America. So at some point, I think in order for things to fully improve, America needs to first admit its own wrongdoings. Like, I feel like that's the first step. Admit that you were wrong. Admit that the things that were done were evil and that they led to so many other problems within just the country, led to so many other problems. And I feel like once that truth is admitted, then they can start to talk about how we're now going to be in schools teaching how the things we've done are wrong. Because then we'll start to correct our history books. Because we all know that for the most part, our history books are just so slanted in a white perspective that there's just no hope. So
let's go back to the video itself. So we don't know the context of why the officer was like pursuing him all the way to his car. But what is your thought on that type of, I don't know if he was trying to arrest him in that. Like, I don't really know. Like, we don't really know exactly. So like, it's really even hard to talk about this fully because like there's so many gaps of information. But if I guess the cop is saying, hey, come here, or don't go to your car, or whatever, is it okay, appropriate, legal, whatever, to actually still go to the car after officer, or do something that officer, I guess, is trying to stop you from doing, or whatever the case may be?
Am I under arrest? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not under arrest? Oh, because from what I understood, or from what I read, they were responding to something else that didn't involve him. He was trying to break up a fight, but they weren't called there to do anything with him. So I'm confused. I'm walking to my car because I'm not under arrest. Why? What? This has nothing to do with me. You are here to handle the situation that you were called for. Yes, I can walk away. Am I under arrest? I don't understand how that justifies you. First of all, I'm walking away. Already know I don't have anything in my hand to threaten you. Like, you can see me. There is nothing on my person. From the video, it looked like he shot him before he can even fully get into the car. So he can't be like, and he was reaching for a gun in the car. He didn't even fully get in the car. What are you talking about?
My problem is he grabbed his shirt, pulled him, and then shot. And then, like, okay, 7 times. Like, you're literally like maybe 6 inches from this dude, like maybe a foot. You really gotta unload your whole entire weapon on this person. And I'm real, like, literally, I think that we don't really understand how just awesome God is to even, allow him to still live after that. Because like 7 times, like, it's very rare that you can get shot that many times and not be dead, you know, especially at that close of range. Like, it is just, you know, it's crazy. And I'm really happy that we finally get a situation where the person can tell their side of the story, because that's the thing with, you know, those people who are racist and white supremacists and stuff like this, and these situations happen, is that they start these little smear campaigns where it's like, oh, well, he was this and he was that and he was doing this and all these, you know, these false things, but this person never gets a chance to actually defend themselves. So it's kind of like it just goes down as that's, you know, the public record is what this person was, versus now hopefully we'll be able to get both sides of the story. But I mean, it's pretty obvious what the whole story is from this video, even though, you know, there's things of context that we may not know. But I mean, here's the thing, and this is something that I've been arguing with people on Facebook about. There is a belief that Black men, men of color, are inherently dangerous. And that belief system is, for some reason, always brought into these police departments to where they always are kind of on hyper alert mode. And when you really look at history, who has been the most violent population in this country? It has been the person who looks like the police officer, actually, not the person who's being aggressed by the police officer. And so I need people to, and again, education. If you was actually conscious of the history of how this country was even formed, white men coming here from other countries, killing, raping, and destroying the land and the people that were here first, then you would be like, why am I thinking that Black people are so dangerous when obviously that hasn't been historic?
If you are fearful, don't pick a job where fear may be a large component, okay? You chose a job where they told you some of these people will be criminals. Some of them may be violent. If you are afraid of violence, you may need to find a different profession. Don't come to this job. Don't come to this job and talk about fear when it's 1 against 3, 1 against 5, 1 against 10, because you know that they love to call multiple cops for one person, as if the person that they're detaining is a serial killer. Even though I feel like most of the serial killers who they be catching be white. But somehow these people still get to come in very calmly, and they're like, we're going to give you a trial and then we're going to lock you up. Why can't we have the same benefit? Like, I don't understand. Just, you're afraid because of my skin. You're afraid because of my skin. Doesn't that sound stupid? I didn't realize my skin could jump off me and attack you. Especially when you coming with your goons and I'm solo dolo out here. Like, he had him and some kids. It was him and some kids. Him and some kids. This cop had friends. What this feels like is a bad episode of Law and Order. That's exactly what it feels like. I feel like every time these shootings occur, I have seen this episode on Law and Order. And I'm just like,
Can we get a new episode? Can y'all put a new episode on? Because this one's tired out.
And I know I've heard a few people talk about this online, just the kind of being tired. Like, and it's not that it's becoming normal, because you can get desensitized to stuff like this because you see it so often. But you just get tired because they're not listening. And when people don't listen, what's the next course of action? You got to change your tactic, right?
Yep.
Because they, mind you, they just had a protest. They've just had a protest saying, hey, Black Lives Matter. This cop was like, oh, just in case y'all couldn't hear what we said we don't care. How many times are they going to tell us that they don't care before we decide to change tactics? How many times? The definition of insanity is to continue repeating something the exact same way and expecting a different result. I don't like feeling insane.
Well, really, in this story, I've been bringing up a lot lately because every time I think about it, I read about it. It makes me angry because I'm like, all of these Black people who've been, unarmed, either killed or abused, rights violated by the police. And the justification is, like you said, is fear. I thought they'll reach for a gun. I thought this about this, whatever. I made this false assessment of this person. My bad. But then we have this dude named Adam Zorobowski who had a complete shootout, Wild Wild West style, with an AK-47 and an automatic pistol because he was mad he had to wear a mask. And they're able to take this person who is literally a straight up threat trying to kill y'all with not one weapon, but two. Y'all able to detain him, arrest him, and he's able to appear in court with all his limbs working. Everything is pretty much functioning like nothing happened, maybe a few bruises. So how are you able to subdue this person who has an AK-47 and an automatic pistol, semi-automatic pistol, but you can't subdue a person who's unarmed, who's compliant, who's walking away from this situation, not even aggressing towards you at all? Like, this is what is on my nerves. Like, if we're going to be killing people because we scared, kill people because we scared. Like, you should be scared of him. He literally has an automatic weapon. He's trying to kill you. This other person literally is not even looking at you and you killed him. Like, girl, stop the madness. Stop acting like what we saying are not real. And that's another thing with people who are racist. They try to act like what we saying is not really happening. If these cops can deal with this person who is out of his mind and armed, then there should literally be no question that you can deal with someone who's not armed, who's not even really a threat to you. The bar has got to be, we got to get a higher standard. Like, these people have too much power over our lives for them not to have any accountability or transparency in how they do their job. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I want to know how they go home and look their family in the eye. I really want to know who they're married to. Like, who are their family members? Because I just feel like if we had these kind of crazy people on our end, and it was us who our cops were the ones killing like this, our family would sit these people down and be like, you done lost your mind. You can't just go around here shooting folks. What's wrong with you? Nobody is telling. You're afraid. Don't work here. It sounds like you may need some mental health. Maybe you should talk to a therapist because your fear of someone because of the color of their skin is irrational. It's irrational. And like you said, when who was the one they took to Burger King?
Oh yeah, I forget what his name is, but the dude who shot up the massacre at the church in South Carolina. Let
me tell you something. When I read that they took him to Burger King, bruh, you took him to Burger King. Let's talk about the 17-year-old whose mother drove him to a protest that was not in his state. Not in his state. This man shot and killed folks. By the way, white on white crime. Don't do that.
White on white crime.
Y'all just be killing y'all own. What's wrong with y'all? How are you going to talk about us coming for y'all cops when y'all killing each other? Handle your community. Then come talk to us. Can't even keep your own people on a leash. Anyway, that was a side note. This man, excuse me. You know what? No, I'm gonna call him a man because as soon as black kids do something, all of a sudden it's not a kid no more. It's a grown man. This man's mother gave him a weapon, drove him across state lines so he can go and shoot some protesters. This man then became afraid because some of the protesters about to beat him on top of the head because you killing folks. This man walks to the cops for protection. The cops
and the cops see him with a gun. Mind you, it's nighttime. You don't really know what's going on. It's a chaotic situation. But somehow you're able to recognize this kid with, what was it, an AK-47 or AR-15, whatever he had? And you know that, oh, he's white. Oh, we ain't got to shoot him down and ask questions later. Let that have been somebody with some melanin in their skin.
Listen. And then I was seeing a lot of people talking about they shouldn't have been out past curfew. It looks like he was out past curfew too. Now what? He's out of curfew. He is outside of curfew. First
of all, he's a child. He should be at home getting ready for school. This is a school night.
Nah. He ain't no child.
He ain't no child, but he's registered to go to school somewhere. He should have been at home, actually in the bed.
The moment you decide that you big and bad enough to go to a protest that does not involve you in a town that is not yours, you're not even sure what's really going on. You decide to shoot somebody. Oh no, I'm gonna call you the man that you are, and you a murderer. Now what? I don't want to see no little, he was a good child. Them phony pictures. I was about to cuss on here. Them little phony school pictures.
Say what you gotta say, but this is Talk Flicks. If you gotta cuss, say what you really feel on your heart.
Girl, they be having them dumbass, that little hair all wispy, just pressed down. He was an angel. And I remember him in the community. He used to help some elderly folks. And he went to church and he prayed to Jesus. He's a murderer. He's a murdering man. And his mother is ridiculous. And she also needs to face the music. I need her to get some charges too. Everybody getting charged in here. Everybody.
But the thing is, they gonna try to threat. It's just funny to me.
Girl, they raising money for him.
They raising money. It's funny how as a murderer, his narrative is, oh, he's just a child, da da da. But then in the case of Jacob, they out here talking about, oh, he had a sexual assault charge, or saying some people he say he was a pedophile, all this stuff that has literally no merit or basis. Like, none of this stuff has been fact checked, but they just throwing it out there.
They're gonna say, they're gonna claim mental something. Some with his mental was off, and his mother, and they're gonna pull that card. And as you can see, his mother clearly wasn't in her right mind. She just gave her son. They about to pull out the white tears, and they're gonna put her in one of them plain dresses.
Wait, you said a white tear? Is that what you?
Them white tears, and they're gonna put her in one of them plain dresses, where it ain't showing no cleavage. It looked like a plain Jane dress. Just once again going back to I am Christian and I just love Jesus. It's gonna be that kind of dress. It ain't gonna be nothing provocative. Ain't gonna be nothing too militant. They don't want it to look like Or listen, there is no or. They're gonna get this boy off. That's what I'm saying. And the white on white crime in America is ridiculous and out of order. And I need them to get it together, because this white on white crime is just tearing our country apart.
This white on white crime. Something I said to a racist on Facebook is he had said something. Well, first of all, he was trying to do what the actual mother of Kanan, the white kid who was shot by this black guy who was out playing. He had put up this thing about, white lives matter. And so we were kind of going back and forth about, him just being mad because apparently he didn't feel like Kanan got enough media coverage. And I'm asking, first of all, it's a open and shut case. Like, they have already apprehended the guy who did it. From what I had read, they're trying to seek the death penalty and all this stuff. Like, there's really nothing else that can really be done. There's no video, so what media coverage are you wanting? And so it progresses and progresses. And the thing that really just, I'm not understanding what these people are mad about in this particular situation. And I'm like, so apparently what White Lives Matter, I guess it's an organization, I don't know, this whole agenda or movement of White Lives Matter, their thing is to give more press coverage or get more press coverage to, cases like canaans, so that cases that have video and there's actual like, you know, investigations and stuff going on and actual media that can be covered. They want their cases to have more time in the spotlight. And it just seemed to me that from this conversation I'm having, these people want to have a competition about who's more oppressed. That's basically what this is a competition, because people who are white supremacists, they're always in competition with someone else. And so the competition now is that we actually are more oppressed than you. Look at this, we're not getting the coverage, etc., etc. And this is a competition that honestly, like, I feel like y'all can have that. Like, y'all can win that one, I guess, if that's what y'all want, to be more oppressed. I don't know why this is a competition in the first place. It's ridiculous. But that's literally what these people are mad about.
Transfer your transfer all of your privilege to me. You want to feel oppressed? I can assist you in this mission. Transfer it all. Transfer the wealth, transfer control of different sectors of business, of the industry, transfer it all. Let me help you be great and oppressed. I'll help you. I am here. Call me anytime. I will be available.
I think we talked about this. This country was built on this. Like you said earlier, like the Constitution, that did not include people of color, did not include women. Like, we basically may have to destroy the whole foundation and start over, because the foundation on which this was built isn't going to be able to stand if the population continues to be more diverse, to where it's not just the majority white men who this constitution and country was kind of built to favor, to prosper.
And I think I agree wholeheartedly. And I think it's hilarious that we are putting so much of our beliefs and how our world is going to run off of this old piece of paper. Like, at the end of the day, it's some old pieces of paper. Of course, we destroyed them. We decide as a unit not to go by it anymore. It's going to be a little difficult as we try to figure out like how it runs, like the new way of running things. But everything is for a season and things are going to change. And I think it's foolish to assume that we are going to just keep following the exact same thing year after year after year, century after century. Like, it needs to adjust with us. And by this point, our Constitution should have already, like, forget, oh, I'm going to do an amendment to this, I'm going to add this extra amendment. No. Once we realize for real, everyone has equal rights now, that thing should have been like, all right, that was cute. Thank you. It's time to set it aside and let's start to draft up a new one. Like, it's time to change, right some wrongs that we had. But America can't do that if America will not admit its wrongs. We have never admitted, and I'm not even talking about just wrongs towards Black people in the country, just wrongs towards so many groups of marginalized people. Like, come on, admit you were wrong. We're not perfect. That's okay. But today, we need to realize we were wrong so that we can move forward, or we gonna get left all the way behind.
Yeah, I think that whole thing that you talk about, that is what they call patriotism, not admitting that there's faults in the country. And if you do, you're unpatriotic and you should be sent back to where you came from. That whole belief system, ideology, is why we can't move forward, because it's so closely attached to things that we venerate for some reason, like the flag and the Star Spangled Banner and all these things. And I just feel like the Constitution has not been upheld for a long time. And I feel like there's no consequences for people being unconstitutional. Like, when you look at all the stuff that's been done not even just in this administration, there's some things that were done in Obama's and Bush's and Clinton's and stuff that was unconstitutional, but these people never got consequences. So my whole thing is, if we gonna be acting like this Constitution is the law of the land, why is there no jail time or no consequence for people being unconstitutional? Like the fact that it's unconstitutional for Donald Trump to seek aid for his election from a foreign country, and then all that happens is just, oh, instead of calling him POTUS, he's impotent because he's impeached. That's it. Nothing else changed. Nothing else happened. It caused more division in the country than ever before. So, like, if we are going to act like this is the law of the land, then you need to have consequences of the land. Teach people in school. That should be a whole thing, is on consequences of unconstitutional actions. And people already know, oh, if I do this, then this is my penalty. This is my penalty. It should be no question. And it should always be maintained and upheld, if that's what we're going to do. But the thing is, in this country, it's two separate justice systems. If you got money and influence, you can do literally anything. And I'm not exaggerating. Anything you want with no consequence. If you are not rich, and also if you're not white, then you really got a problem, and every little thing you do may have a little consequence. You never know. But that's the whole problem with the country, is there is no universal system by which we actually comport ourselves. Like, literally, the biggest hoax play on America is that there's actually laws that govern our society.
Right.
There isn't. We just,
can we just
but it's not. Like, literally, you can go out and do whatever you want. And
you say that then.
It may not even matter.
We should say that though. Like, if that's how we want to be, just be upfront. We're a lawless country. Okay?
Lawless.
I feel like back in the day, they tried to do some fake laws. They were like, listen, what's going to happen is you're going to do that and you're going to run up on the wrong person. You may get killed. Let's go ahead and just own up to that, because then that gives everyone freedom. Then that's that chaos that they talking about Biden is going to usher in.
Let's
chaos,
talk about that. Can we talk about the chaos? Because I have a common sense problem here with Republicans saying we need to maintain law and order. Your party has been in power, and for a good portion of this term that Trump has had, they had both the House and the Senate. Y'all didn't do anything to help maintain any law and order. In fact, all of this chaos is happening under a Republican president. So how are you coming here talking about we gonna have law and order? You ain't maintaining law and order now. Why do people think I'm gonna vote for Donald Trump for law and order? There's none right now, and he's president right now. He's in the White House right now. So what is making you think that it's going to be any different in 4 years?
So are the days gone where we just roll up in governments and be like, we don't want you no more? Because you remember, like, I think the only thing I fully remember from those high school history classes was that French Revolution, and they were like, yeah, we tired of this. What we are is tired. Y'all had y'all time. That was fun. Key. Get out. We're done with that. That time is over. We don't do that no more. We civilized. Because I feel like if both parties are garbage. Let me just start there so everyone can know. I fully believe that both of these parties are garbage.
Absolutely agree.
We have we have more than two parties, and for people that don't know that, you can look that up on the government website. We have more than two parties. It's just that no one knows about those other parties. And so therefore no one knows about the candidates that are running. And I'm not saying this because
they don't know the candidates who's running in the major parties either. You'll be surprised how many people don't even know who their governor is. They don't know who their House representative is. They don't know anything. It's all roads lead to broken education.
Right. So I just, but that point has been bothering me for so long when people are like, it's only two parties. And no, it's actually more. It's just that those parties don't get as much funding and they don't get as much airtime for various reasons. But I'm not a fan of this party system because all of these years it doesn't appear to be working too well. Personally, I don't think it's working too well. So I'm still of the mind that we should have pressed pause after Obama to have 4 years to recoup. And I understand that a lot of people feel like we can't do that because other countries are going to come in and try to take over. Baby, at this point, they could do that right now. Like they could have been done that for real, for real. The stuff we owe, even though we try to pretend like we don't owe it, other countries could have came in and took over.
Excuse me. By the way, they already have. The fact that our society would almost cease to function properly without these imports from China and other places is why it's basically already like that. The fact that Melania Trump could come into the garden at the White House with a Soviet Union military uniform on in front of a American flag background, it blows my brain out of the skull. Like all these things, but nobody really, it don't really click. But we already owned, man. Like it's literally, and my teachers say this all the time at Bowling Green. China owns us. That's what Dr. Cabanillas would say all the time. And he was absolutely correct all the way back then in 2000 and what was that, 5 or 6?
Girl, you ain't had to make that note. You ain't had to do that, boys. You ain't had to.
That's how he would do it. This is exactly how Dr. Cabanillas talked. He would be like, China owns us. In every essay, I will put that in there and I would get an A. I knew how to work the system too.
Girl, first of all, ain't nobody about no action. Even we just all words because they pretty
We
words.
are.
Ain't nobody about no. That's what we're missing. I just have not that I have super respect, but a little bit for the people back in the day. And I'm not saying that people aren't doing that because there are definitely activists who are out there hitting the ground, getting stuff done. But our action, like as a unit, just isn't super high. And hopefully, I think this time, what we're going through now is, I think it's encouraging more people to start putting actions behind their words. But
I mean, you see these people that's taking, like this kid, like but it's on the wrong side of history. And I don't think that type of action is really what you need to do. But there's people out there that I guess are about it, rowdy, whatever you want to call them, that's ready to take to the streets and you know, get their hands dirty if that is the case. But I feel like
you need both. You do need that. You need people who about to be about it, but you also need the people who can plan. Right. Like it's not going to work because if everyone just talking words, we could be talking words all day, but nothing changes. But like you said, it's when people start to do actions. Like when those players were like, we're not going to play. When those athletes were like, we finna mess up y'all money. That's still action. Like they said words and then they had action.
Speaking of, they're going to have to keep this going for, like, the whole playoffs need to be over. That's the only way. Because, like, if you just say, oh, we're going to do a few games, they just going to redo game 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hurting the money. All you're doing is postponing the money. You need to shut the whole thing down. Like, actually, until y'all do right by me, everything you can do is go crumble. Okay? You need to do one of these. Because they're not going to get it. All they're going to say is, okay, they're mad right now. We're just going to let them cool off. You know what I'm saying? You got to let them know, like, actually, you're going to have to meet these demands or it's not happening, period, point blank.
But Corona, like, I'm still confused why that really wasn't. And I know sports fans going to be mad. Be mad. But for real, like, Corona, no one, like, we don't care no more. It's just so weird that America just decided it was like, we over that. y'all really just didn't care. Y'all were like, we finna play these sports. And then we're getting checked. Okay. I guess we get checked every time before we come in. Okay. I guess. I didn't realize our tests were that advanced where I thought it was
I mean,
14.
the people with the money got the advanced test, apparently. So that's number one.
For it to set in. Like, if you caught it, it took a while for stuff to actually start showing. No? Was that a lie? I don't know. But okay, I guess. I'm just saying, if I hear all of a sudden all these people in the sports world are dropping dead, I'm not finna be surprised. Like, what you expect?
I mean, this has happened with almost every movement where, like, it has to be like sports figures and stuff like that to really kind of step up, you know, their platform and being vocal on these things for people to really be like, oh, you know. And it's like, I really wish it could start more at the political, like the level where the stuff actually can get changed. Because, like, honestly, people keep talking about, oh, you know, these training, they need more training. And it's not about training. Like, literally, I've been doing this documentary on police departments, talking to cops. They get training all the freaking time. The thing is, they are hiring people who already are mentally programmed to act like that when they in situations that are, you know, I guess intense. And my thing is, there needs to be better recruitment, but then also, again, everybody's saying it, but nobody's doing it. Accountability, consequence, those two things alone. Like, literally, you don't have to say nothing about defund the police. You don't have to say nothing about reappropriate the police. All you have to do is say consequence, accountability, and transparency. I guess you add that third one in there. Like, all of this stuff needs to be on a public record. Like, literally, I should be able to look up any police officer's file and see how many complaints he got.
Yes.
That's open book. Yes. That should be open book to anybody in the whole country.
How do they still
look up somebody in California and be like, oh, what this cop doing on the, like, and that needs to be a job. That's a job right there. Accountability officer. They just go through the database like, this person got 5 complaints in 5 months. Oh, actually, we're gonna have to start investigating what's going on because it's not appropriate.
You're fired, because if you were at your regular job and you had that many complaints, you would be fired. They not like let you stick around and ruin their brand. I don't understand why. As a person who be running these police departments, you are not finna mess up my brand. We have a good brand in this community. We protect people. They love us. They support us. When it's time for our little calendar to raise money, they give us money. This one person with 20 complaints, you finna step in here and mess up my whole brand? No, you're not. No, you're not. No job for you.
And that is why you know that it's an agenda. There's a white supremacist agenda within these police departments, because every cop I didn't talk to, they have mentioned there's racism within the police academy when they just getting started and, you know, trying to be one. It's inside the department once you get there, and nobody is addressing it. And the fact that you see how they protect these cops to do stuff like that, like messing up the brand, like you said, that should be an absolute fire right off rip. Like, nothing, no questions asked. I'll investigate after I've already fired you if I need to for some criminal charges.
That's right.
But you're fired right off the gate. And these people, they protecting their names, they protecting their homes. You know, you remember when they had to burn half of Minneapolis down, or that part where the whole situation went down, just to get him arrested. The basics. And why are they doing that? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a subculture within that has to be addressed. But the problem is these cops do not want to talk about that subculture. That's why you see and hear so little police actually talking about police reform. Because I always thought that was strange. Like, well, we talked about y'all. Like, don't y'all have an opinion on this?
They scared. And you know what? If you scared, you need to leave this job. Okay? You need to leave this job if you're that scared. Because that is a toxic work environment. Get out right now. I promise you, you can find something else. It is not that deep. I will become a security officer quicker than I will become a policeman, policewoman, whatever. What in the world? Plus, listen here. Let me tell you something. I'm finna snitch. I get up there. I'm finna snitch on all of y'all. Y'all ain't got y'all cameras on. I got my camera on. I ain't even talking about I got the police camera. I got a camera in my glasses. I got a camera in my hat. I got a camera in my badge. Listen,
real talk. That's exactly what you need to have for real. If you gonna be somebody that's gonna be a cop of integrity, then you need to have more than the body cam on. That's absolutely true. Because they ain't gonna believe you. It's gonna be 5-on-1 saying that ain't what happened. The police report say this.
And then they always talk about, well, you can't do that because then no one feels like you have your back. I don't want someone who is that crooked and that ridiculous with their thoughts about how like certain people shouldn't be valued to be having my back. I don't need you to have my back. Okay, the Lord got my back. I don't want nothing to do with you. Be gone. Be gone. And I ain't gonna be, because if everything in this spot is everybody, it's a little game, a little pecking order, everybody races up in here. Don't worry about me coming in with the video to my supervisor. I'm gonna leak it to the media. Now what? Now what? You gonna kill me? You were gonna kill me anyway. Now what?
you ready to be killed now? Because you're gonna be dead in these streets, and they gonna say she committed suicide. It's so sad.
She committed suicide. You know how I know this? I saw Law and Order SVU. Listen! This was trying to tell everybody this man was in here raping her. He had raped some other women. You see what I'm saying?
This is the kicker too. So they protecting these cops, that's running the brand, that's destroying community relationships, you know, with the police department. You making everybody look bad at cops and everything. And you protect them, and it's like this is literally costing the police department, the city, money. Like when these people, if they live and even if they die, there's going to be a suit, and the city is going to have to pay out millions of dollars. Keeping this person, protecting this person is costing you money. Isn't that all we care about in America is money? Why are we letting somebody stay on that is costing money?
I'm so confused. I'm just so confused. I'm confused how people even have time for this much hate. Like y'all ain't got stuff to do. I know I have a lot of creative work.
I think it's when they don't have no jobs, or like it's a lot of negativity going on in their life already, and so people who are negative, they look for negative things to attach to, and so it just kind of snowballs from there.
That sounds tiring. Like, oh,
it seems like it, right? And a lot of people you see, and I've been just kind of taking notes on little things. These people who I've been telling about, who I've been arguing with, who are racist, they look tired. Like they look like bags under their eyes. They look wore out. And that, like you said, is probably one of the reasons why they look like that. They look so worn out. And I'm like, yo, like that is that burden that the Lord be telling you, give me the yoke and I'll make it light. Like they be taking that burden and won't give it up.
Oh, and maybe you should just admit that you want to be me. Like, is that also part of your burden? Like you just big mad because I'm still over here happy? You be like, I have oppressed you to the extreme. And you still over here just finding joy? Why are you worried about me? Keep my name out your mouth. I'm just trying to exist. Existing is a lot of work.
I mean, if you think about what you said, why are you over there worried about me? This kid and his mom drove all. They so worried about you and what you doing. They
use
their
their
own community.
girl.
Use gas money.
They
Wear
had
and tear on the car just to be in your bit. Like that should make you tired.
Bruh, how is your concern that high? That you gas money still ain't that cheap. You putting miles in your car, which means you gotta go get an oil change. You had to get food because that they went across 2 states apparently. Like you had to get food on that drive. You couldn't even sleep in your nice bed because you in the car. You lost sleep to worry about somebody else? Bruh, you doing this all wrong. I don't even know how else to tell you.
To conclude this, what do you think could it be done differently in this country to, number one, change the way, well, I won't even say change, but how do we make the way that all of America, white, black, brown, polka dot, whatever, how all of us feel about the police, so that it's a universal feeling. And then what can we do to stop these unarmed shootings and abuse and violations of rights from happening? I know it's a loaded question, but go ahead.
I still think, or I think the idea of a tribute from every ethnicity, from every state in America, I think if everyone sat down in front of a firing squad, not that the firing squad would kill them, but I feel like that's a visual demonstration. And if you go through every person, and it hurts more, of course, if you know that person. And if it has to be government officials, listen, sorry. Or actually, it'd probably be better if it was government officials. Whoever talks the most reckless in that state, y'all finna be up for grabs. And then you have to justify why us killing this person is something that's positive. Because honestly, none of it is positive. These people are unarmed. They are exercising their rights to protest or whatever they were doing when they were killed. I really think it's going to take something drastic in order for everyone to get it, because people aren't understanding words anymore. And I feel like it is going to have to be something that seems so far out that the world is finally, or America is finally going to sit up and pay attention.
I think that they have to mandate some type of either community connection between the cops and the communities that they're actually policing. So hiring cops from these actual communities, or you institute programs where these cops have to intermingle on a consistent basis with people in the community so they feel comfortable.
Do not understand the value of a human life. No matter how many introductions come, it's not gonna matter. You should not apply for this job. At the top of this job is you will work with every ethnicity, every kind of human available, because this is a job that interacts with people from different backgrounds. If you have prejudices or you are racist and you hate people to the extent where you don't feel like you can protect them, do not, I repeat, do not apply for this job. Apply for a job that serves a community that you like. What I'm telling you is that all the communities, we help all of the communities. We don't care what kind of community it is. That means you got to go in the crack community, okay? You got to go in the mentally insane communities. You got to go in the communities that your church told you shouldn't be going in. If that is a conflict for you, please do not apply for this job. Like, I'm confused why, like, I get that you're saying introduce community to the people, right? But that's after we've already determined that these are the people that love people, any people at all. Like, I don't think social workers get the same grace. They don't get the same grace. Social workers have to go into any home. They don't care what that home look like. They got to go into any home. Don't nobody be like, and we're going to walk into the community. They be like, listen, they finna drop that baby out of the window and folks finna be crying on the street because these babies were, you know, daddy is crazy. Michael Ealy is crazy in this movie. Like, that is not, like, I don't get it. No, how you go into a job where they tell you have to interact with everybody and you be like, but I don't like them. Same thing with doctors. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut over you. The medical field and this police enforcement field are two areas where you cannot be unwilling to help people. Like, I'm sorry. There should be no gray area. I shouldn't be teaching you how to love people.
But anyways, that's our show, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And let us know what you guys think, man. What can we do about this issue with the police and communities of color? How do we fix it, man? We gotta really do some brainstorming and some soul searching so we can become a better and more perfect union. So thanks for tuning in. Peace.